Okay, let's go ahead and get class started today. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are recording this, so we have that disclaimer out there for everyone. And then that way you can also go back and watch it later. So if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to chime in, and we'll go ahead and get everything answered to help you guys out. So we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, Adam Sahura with Keller Williams New Orleans. I'm the productivity coach, and today we're going to be talking about virtual open houses. And keeping in mind, you know, we've got social distancing going on right now, so we're trying to do everything that we can to ensure that we're still there to help our clients, but keeping in mind that we've got to keep at least 6 feet away from everybody. So what this class is going to help you do is ensure that you can still do open houses and still find ways to lead generate while doing that. So we'll go ahead and get started in sharing some of those ideas. So first thing that I like to do with open houses, and keeping in mind we've got to distance ourselves, is focusing around the same logic that you would normally do with an open house. So you can still post it on your Facebook that you're doing an open house, and I would say actually post it as an event and literally create an event that you're going to be doing a virtual open house. You can still put signs out and say which property you're going to be having for a virtual open house, and you can even go one step further and put the specific time on there and have something such as a QR code that says, hey, follow this link so you can join in on the virtual tour when we have it at this time. And additionally, you can call the neighbors and talk to them as well, and do circle prospecting the same as you would with a regular open house. Now, when it comes down to actually having the open house, that's where things are going to be run a little bit differently. Which the great thing with doing a virtual open house is that your timeline is going to be a lot shorter. So instead of having an open house from 1 to 2 or from 12 to 2, whatever it is, and then sitting there for hours, you actually can really narrow that down and just do it in about 20 minutes and still start to generate some traffic from there. So this is how I would recommend doing an open house. Is you can go through Google Meet, just like we have here. Now, Google Meet is one of the applications that's from Google that Keller Williams agents already have, and it's free. And there's 2 different ways that you can do an open house with the Google Meets. One is you can do like this class here, where we have it open to anybody who wants to join in, and they can have their little video running and they can ask questions and comment and do things like that. Or the other option is you can have it out there as a live stream, and then people can just watch it like you would do a Facebook Live, which is another tool that you can use that's also free, is putting it on your Facebook Live, and from there, you can have people comment in. So if they need to re-see part of a house, or if they want to see a specific part of the property, you can do that. The great thing with doing it on Facebook Live is it's live. It automatically gets pushed out to your database, aside from the people who have already registered to see the event, but it'll also save it as a video on your Facebook. So then that way people can go back to it in the future. So what I would suggest doing when you're looking at doing a virtual open house, honestly, vacant properties are probably going to be the best right now because there's not people in them. And since nobody's actually going to be at the open house because we are distancing, then that's going to be in your best interest. So obviously the same rules for an open house would apply there. Is you want to focus on properties that are in your farming market, because that's what you're trying to do, is generate more interest. And so when you are posting the open house, afterward you can actually go back and add some links in there and add some market information and neighborhood information. So there's a lot more that you can actually put out there and encourage people to interact with you. One way to get more people to interact with you is invite some of the agents at the office. Say, hey, I'm doing a virtual open house. I'd love it if you'd show me a little bit of engagement, so that way I can kind of help boost up a little bit. Because if you're doing it on Facebook Live, and then once you're done, if you're getting comments on there, then Facebook is going to say, hey, people are liking this, and they're going to push it up higher. And if you go back an hour later after somebody comments and comments again, then Facebook goes, oh, hey, we like this too, and we push it higher. Now, one of the first comments that I would put in there, or if you want, you can actually put it in the description, is a link to the listing from your website. Because just like we do open houses, a virtual open house really is just to generate traffic and not only work it from a lead generation standpoint, but also making sure that you're still out there and you're still in real estate and people know that you actively are working, and pushing all that information out there to help people and let them know that they can still see properties even when they're stuck at home. And one of the things that I've done, because I've done virtual tours and things like that before for clients, because I've had a lot of people who are out of town and they just can't come see the property. So doing this virtual stuff isn't anything that's too new. Actually, we'll go right here and I'll share this photo with you guys. Here's a photo from, this is September 28th of 2016. And a photo of me doing a FaceTime tour with one of my clients. And believe it or not, they actually bought it. So it's possible to sell a $500,000 condo on the Gulf through your iPad. And just remembering that people are looking now more than ever for reasons to kind of escape from the things that they're really doing. So being able to walk through, oh, you guys weren't able to see the photo? Let me see if I can share that again with you. So we'll put it up here. Okay, can you guys see that now? Cool. So we'll stop sharing. And so having fun stuff like that is really what's going to get more engagement and get people more involved, because that's their way of escaping. And yes, what's wrong with my hair? In that photo or right now? and having a good time with it and showing people that, hey, we can still have fun even though we're in the comfort of our own homes. So that's one of the things to keep in mind, and realizing that it's just it's a different way of generating leads, but it's still very similar to what other people have been doing in the past. So definitely have a good time with it, and don't be afraid to show your personality and show all the good things and the bad things about the house. So what I would do is I start out in the front yard, and I've gone through the property and turned on every single light that's possible, because you need a lot of light when you're doing video. So I'll start outside at the very end of the property, and I'll welcome everybody in just like I normally would with a regular open house. And then I'm going to turn the camera around and show the exterior of the property. So I'll show them the front of the property at first, and then walk in through the front door. And what I'd like to do is kind of walk through the property, kind of show them that, and then go out into the backyard or back patio or porch or whatever it is, show them that area, then come back in. And I want to make sure that I'm finishing my virtual tour in the wow area of the house, unless it's a bathroom. So if they have a really cool kitchen or a really cool living room, and also focusing on the lighting. If they have really good lighting, or if they don't have really good lighting but a wow area, you can bring a ring light with you, or turn on the flash on your camera. And make sure that you're wrapping up, because you want to have a really good background as much as you can. And so as you're wrapping up the virtual tour, you can say your goodbyes there and then send it off. So that's really in a nutshell on how you're going to focus around doing a virtual open house with using a lot of the same open house techniques that you would normally use. The only difference is it's going to be a shorter period of time and you're not actually meeting face-to-face with the people. So that's basically how I break it down. And now we'll get into questions, comments, and concerns. So what kind of questions do you guys have? Wow. Daddy bunch. Tinsley, what's your question?
So you and I shared briefly yesterday the decision that the Pennsylvania governor made. Do we have any concerns in this state about that?
Yeah. So here's the deal: is that there has been talk that we're going to have to kind of close things down a little bit, or maybe we might not be able to leave our properties to go show other properties, and that's completely fine. With that in mind, I would say, yeah, it's going to be difficult to do a virtual open house of another property if you technically can't get there. So really with that in mind, the only thing I can think of is if you wanted to do a virtual tour with a property that has a Matterport, you can do that, or do an open house tour of your own property and tell people that, hey, you just want to keep practicing while you're stuck in your house to make sure that you're still good at doing open houses when you finally get to break free of the confines of those four walls. Any thoughts on that? Ah, you guys
Adam, I thought this was really good.
Cool. So yeah, while we still can get out and about, vacant properties are the best way to go. Go there, have a good time, and even with showings, if we can still do those now, obviously vacant properties would be easier, but you can unlock the door, turn all the lights on, have the people go in and walk around, check out the house, and then when you're done, then you can go and turn all the lights off and walk up without having to be one-on-one there with them.
What about the owner doing a Google Meet with you and them actually walking through the property?
That is an awesome idea. And the reason why I love that twice as much is because the owner is going to show you the things that sold them on the property, which is going to have a lot of people saying, you know, I actually like that too. And if you're friends with them on Facebook, you can actually tag them in the video. So not only will it help easily your local real estate expert, but it's also going to have the owner tagged in there as well. So you're going to get double the exposure from your fan base and from the owner's friends on Facebook. So it can really expand it out a lot more. And it kind of has fun with it too, because you can be playing along with the owner in a Facebook Live, which to have multiple people in a Facebook Live, you can do it on a personal page. However, if you're doing it on a private page, you're going to need to install an app onto your Facebook called BeLive.tv. And when you go there, you can actually have guest people come in, share videos, you can share pictures, you can share a whole bunch of stuff and make your videos look really cool. And on the other end, it's really easy. They just open up the app on their iPhone and it brings them right into the meeting. If you guys saw some of my Facebook videos that I've done this week, that was actually through that free app, BeLive.tv. So it's a great way to bring other people into your meeting and have fun with it. So Tinsley, yeah, that's a really, really, really good idea that I love. What are some other questions you guys have?
Adam, you might have said this. I kind of jumped on a few minutes late, but so like when you're doing a live open house, like how long do you kind of leave it open, or do you just do the tour? If some people tune in, great. If not, you just shut it down at that point?
Yeah, I would just do the tour. So I would get there, and go through the house and turn on, like I said, every single light possible, even the little light under the microwave that shines down on the stove, and any lamps that you can find. If it's a vacant property, it's going to be easier. And turn on every light and open the blinds. You got to be a little careful with blinds. You don't want to open them all the way because it'll basically wash out everything. But you really want to make sure that inside the property is bright so you can really see it. And also it's going to look good with you as well. So they have, you know, if you go to Amazon, it's going to take longer than 2 days now, I guess. But they have little ring lights that you can actually clip onto your phone if you want. And that can help shine light on you. And then if you want, you can flip it around and it can kind of help shine light on some of the darker areas as well. So yeah, just basically walk through the property as if you were doing a regular tour with somebody and having to show them every single feature. And when you're doing it, the thing I like to do, when personally I'm showing properties directly to people, I like to use the FAB method. Which isn't short for fabulous, it can be, but it's actually an acronym, which means feature, advantage, benefit. So you wouldn't just say feature, 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 like, oh, this kitchen features an island, and this bathroom features a self-flushing toilet. That's great, those are features, but what's the advantage? And more importantly, what's a really good benefit about that? So if this property features a 55,000-gallon in-ground swimming pool in the backyard, that's a feature. Well, the advantage is when you're stuck at home, you don't have to worry about the community pool getting closed down because you have your own. And so the benefit is you don't have to worry about what other people are doing. You actually get to spend more time with your family. And spending time with your family is something that's important to us, right? So you'll notice a lot of times I'll finish my FAB statements with a tie down, and I'll say, and that's important to you, right? And you'll notice that I turn into a bobblehead doll when I'm doing that. And you could probably, if you could see people on the other side, they're shaking their heads in as much as Philip and Jeffrey are doing right now, because you're getting that buy-in, and you kind of make it personable with them because they're really buying into it and having a good time. So to answer your question, it'll take about 10 minutes, unless it's a really big house. Cool. What are some other questions you guys have? Awesome. Well, I think that was a short, sweet, and to the point kind of class. But what I'll do is we do have this recorded, so we'll send it out. And then if you guys have any questions after the fact, you can go ahead and hit us up on Facebook. You can text me, email me, reach out any way possible. Typically at the end of videos like this, I usually see them say like and subscribe. Oh, Jeffrey's asking where you can get my shirt. Pretty neat, a child store. No, I was telling earlier on our leadership FaceTime meeting or whatever we were doing was actually this has all different areas on it, and each one has their own Kelly snap because after all, real estate is hyper local. Cool. Well, you guys have fun, and if there's anything you need, go ahead and reach out.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome. You guys party hard.